Hey. Wait a little while. Come on in. Happy Sunday, everybody. I hope everybody is having an amazing and blessed day. Let me put my phone on D&D, honey, so I can talk to my babies. Come on in. Yes, honey, we're going to do this new thing called Sundays with Auntie. I know everybody is enjoying their family, and that's okay. What I'm going to do is just probably leave it up after that. Hi, my loves. Hello. I'm inviting people now, so I'm going to come on and say my hellos a little bit later. Just trying to make sure that I invite people, because they be like, oh, you're live and I didn't know. So I'm trying to make sure everybody that would want to hear this word is available or seeing what it is that I'm posting. If not, then they'll see it on their own time. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and say hi. Hi. Hey, Denisha. Hey, Boo. Hey, Robert. I see you. So I'm going to just go ahead, and whoever comes on, they come on, and who don't. And I pray that whoever watches this, that this lands on the right ears, if that makes sense. Hey, Candace. Wait a couple more minutes. And now I'm going to just give y'all this word that I got for this Sunday. So, from now on, of course, as Spirit leads, we're going to have little Sundays with Auntie. Hey, baby. Hey, Candace. So, it's going to be little Sundays with Auntie. You know how you used to go over your family house on Sundays, and you had the favorite auntie that you want to go talk to. I'm going to be that favorite auntie today. There's some messages that have been laid on my heart, so I'm going to make sure I continue to give them as they are given to me. I try to keep a low profile, but at this moment, we're just going to go ahead and say what we got to say. Okay, so Spirit is just telling me to let everybody know, my auntie, my nieces and nephews, if y'all want to call it that, know that it's important to remember that your journey is your journey. Stop letting where you feel like your peers are determine where you feel like you should be in your spiritual walk or your spiritual journey, okay? That would always land you in a space that you're not ready for. You're going to write a spiritual check that ass can't cash. I see so many people feeling like because they have intuitive gifts that they have to now step into this space of being a leader, and they're not necessarily ready yet. Being somebody that's a reader or a leader or a teacher or a root worker, and they haven't even done the work on themselves. First of all, the most important client you will ever have for readings and manifestations and anything of that nature is yourself. Nobody wants to accept these things from somebody. Hi, Kachina, baby. Nobody wants to accept these things from somebody that hasn't done it and walked through it themselves. The most effective healer is one who has been through things that have caused them to learn how to heal themselves. Therefore, you can't decide that, okay, I have these gifts and now I know these things, so now I got to jump into putting myself in Front Street and putting myself in harm's way by just going out there and doing this, and I'm not even prepared. I have not studied to show myself approved. Hi, Kimber. I haven't I haven't done any of those things. So now I feel like because I have these gifts, I got to hurry up right now. You know, this is the age of Aquarius. Everybody telling everybody to get ready, and everybody telling everybody, all the leaders, to stand up and walk in their calling and stuff like that. But what if it's not your time yet? What if it's not your time yet? Or what if it's not that person's time yet? A lot of people need to stop rushing spirit. Because you can't do that. Just like they tell you you can't rush God, you cannot rush spirit. The spirits that are attached to God, the spirits that are attached to the Most High, don't move on your clock. They still move on the clock of the Most High. So if you're not ready yet, they're not going to let you be ready. I've been this way since I was 5 years old. I've been seeing spirits, knowing things, all of that since I was 5. I didn't have very many friends. Because my friends don't like me telling them shit. Point blank. Okay, he ain't shit, or she ain't shit, or, you know, you shouldn't do that, or that's going to wind you up pregnant. Then it's like, oh, bitch, you think you know everything. High diamond with it. You know, so, but I've been like this my whole life. But it wasn't until spirit was like, no, now is the time, that I was able to step in my calling and walk in my calling. If I would have done it in a minute sooner, it would have been asinine. It would have been pointless. You understand? Because I had to go through some more stuff. I've been through a lot already. Yes, I get it. You've been through a lot. You're going through an awakening. When I went through my awakening, the last thing that was on my mind when I had my first awakening, because you have many, the last thing that was on my mind was deciding to read for y'all or being a root worker. Like, I was like trying to get my life together. I took my ass to therapy. I went and I did shadow work. I cried every day for a year. I mourned who I thought I was. I talked to my grandmother, who was in spirit form now. I learned what the hell I like to eat, because as a mother, you don't even know shit like, what do you like to eat? What do you like to do for fun? When you go through these situations and these transformations, you have to get to know yourself all over again. Let alone, why would you add stress to yourself by now trying to be of assistance to people that you can't even be you can't even be of assistance to yourself in that moment. You have to sit still and let God work through you. Let spirit work through you. Get to know your spirit guides. Get to know all of that. There's no way you're going to get to know that by picking up some damn cards or starting to do some root work. Or, you know, you're not going to get to know those things. You got to be still. You got to be quiet in your spirit in those situations. Okay, Candace, I'm telling you. Candace said, me too. That has been me all year. It is so imperative. It frustrates me sometimes when I see people like running to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, you don't know what you're doing. Oh, and I see a lot of people like, oh, well, I'm intuitive and I'm trying to get better with my gifts. And it's kind of like you're forcing your awakening. And that's the thing that you got to be careful of. Katrina said, that's where I'm at now, relearning myself. That's my success now. When it's time for me to step in it, it will be time. No rush. Exactly. It will be no rush. Because guess what? Even if you go and you pick up cards or some kind of tool to work with, a wand or a pendulum, or you start automatic writing, and you decide that you want to, picture read or whatever the situation may be, if God and your ancestors or your spirit team is not ready for you to do that, they will defiantly not respond to your ass. Hi, Dom Nash. And then you'll be wondering, well, what is it? I still don't understand it. It's still not registering with me. It's not time yet. Sit down. Figure out how you're going to get to the healing part. Go do that. Start with an ancestor altar. You trying to jump over to get your spirits to communicate with you, and you didn't make no relationship with them. Imagine that. Imagine you somewhere and somebody walk up to you like, hey girl, like they your friend, like they know you like that. You don't know them from a can of fucking paint. You don't know them from a can of paint, and you over there like, yeah girl, so tell me all your business. What's tea? You don't know me, bitch. And I don't know you. So I'm not answering you. until I know who you are and you decide to know who I am. If you're not going to put in that effort, it's non-reciprocal. And spirit don't fucking play with non-reciprocity. When you don't reciprocate what they giving out to you, then you stop getting it until you get your mind right. There's no rush. What would be the rush? You know? Right, Katrina said, asking for all this shit without building a rapport. Exactly. You can't just be like, kaboom, guess who stepped in the room? And be like, okay, yeah, and God gave you these gifts, and because if we open up a can of worms on your ass, you're not gonna know what the fuck hit you. A lot of times people don't even understand you calling down your awakening, calling down your awakening, calling down your awakening. And spirit be like, oh, word? Word? That's like asking somebody, whoop my ass, whoop my ass, whoop my ass, and you know you can't fight. You calling that ass whooping to you, but you can't fight. A lot of people call down the awakening and then have the awakening and almost lose their fucking mind. Or spirit fucks with them to the point where they feel like they're possessed. Y'all don't understand that. You remember when you was younger? I remember I was younger. I grew up in church, right? So me and my cousins used to get out of church, and then we would be in church, and we would pretend like we was the pastor and the ladies of the church and all that good stuff. And my grandmother would knock fire at us and be like, "Stop playing with God. Stop playing with spirit. You don't get to play intuitive. You don't get to play like you're a healer or a leader, or that you're ready to step into that space. You don't get to play." That's why you hear a lot of people be like, listen, the ones that are out there was like, I was defiantly not trying to do that. When spirit, like, you need to make sure that your, and this is for whoever may watch this, you need to make sure that it's not your wounds and your necessity to be a part of something that is causing you to want to step into your calling or whatever your gifts are, and you know, versus spirit, because that's two different things. A lot of people operate out of their wounds. They operate out of their trauma, and they feel that they need to heal other people so that they don't have to look at their own shit. That's not the way to go about that, because you're gonna write a check that you cannot cash, like, for real. And I mean that. If you're not in a space of learning how to heal and making you a priority to heal, then you probably don't need to be doing none of that. Sit down. This is why I'm enjoying Reiki for myself. I learned Reiki. That don't mean I'm going to jump my ass out there and start practicing Reiki. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy healing myself and my children and my family members. I'm going to get the rapport of the spirits and the energy, and I'm going to learn what it feels like for energy to flow through me, or when I'm moving energy and things like that. I need to learn those things so that I can be effective in what it is that I'm doing for somebody else. I'm not going to allow my ego and what it is that I know how to do to cause me to jump out there prematurely and fuck somebody else up. Hello, Yodi. Happy Sunday. I'm not going to do that. So what it is that spirit was putting on my heart was like, don't allow where you feel like other people are to make you feel like you need to play catch up. No, you don't. You need to do it in increments and steps like everybody fucking else. You have to go through the shadow period. You got to go through healing things and being tired of your own shit. Then you got to go through being the wounded healer and heal yourself first. You cannot do something if you not have shown yourself approved for what it is that you're doing. If you're not healing nobody, before I came out to y'all, before y'all seen anything about Toya Tarot, Auntie Toya, whatever the fuck y'all see, Toya was in her house reading herself, reading her children, reading her family. You understand? I was in there reading myself and trying to understand what spirit was saying to me. I'm all the clairs, honey. So I got people here spirit speaking to me, making me feel things, making me see things, making me, smell things, making me sense things. This is a process. So I was in there in a space where I was just like, okay. And I'm not even going to hold you. Yep, I sure did take antidepressants. Yep, I went to therapy every week. And I took the low dosage of antidepressants because I needed to make sure that spirit was speaking to me and that this was a spiritual nature. So y'all don't even understand. It's the process of elimination sometimes when you're going through an awakening. Because people will make you feel like you crazy. My doctor legit tried to tell me, oh, we're going to check you into a medical facility for a couple of weeks. You know, you seem like you need some help. I'm like, no, bitch. I'm going to go get that together. If you're going to give me some antidepressants, I want the lowest dosage. I don't care what you're telling me. I want the lowest dosage. And then I sat with myself through panic attacks. And I did breathing exercises. And I asked Spirit, okay, what is this? Is this mine or is this somebody else's? What am I doing here? You have to train yourself. Okay, Spirit was like, this not you. This is a situation here. One time I had a whole I thought I was having a heart attack one time. I thought I was having a heart attack. I was taking my antidepressants every day. And so I was like, okay, well, that's not it. The panic attacks never stopped. Never stopped. They did calm down a little bit, but they did not stop. So then I'm feeling it. And I got up and I stood up out of the bed at my babe's house. And I passed out. And my chest was hurting me. And I'm calling the ambulance. Ambulance fucking never came. Mind you, we're in New York City at the time. We're in Harlem, where she's from. So it's taking forever. And I'm like, damn, like I could have just killed the fuck over and died by now. But Spirit made sure it didn't show up. You know why? Because it wasn't mine. The next day, a young lady that had been in the house that left, had a heart attack in the street and passed out and died. So, and then it happened again another time, but it wasn't my heart hurting this time. I just felt like woozy or whatever, and somebody got hit in the head. So, you know, this is the thing. You have to learn. You cannot jump into everything. If you're going to, I teach all of my students, when I teach tarot, I'm like, listen, it doesn't have to be to read anybody else. It really doesn't. It doesn't have to be to read anybody else. This could just be for you. It needs to be personal for you for a while. Before you go out there like, yeah, I'm giving readings. Because guess what? You can't play them games. You got to protect your energy. You got to cleanse your cards. You got to put your energy on your cards. You can't let nobody else touch your shit. You understand? You have to do all of these things. Hi, Gene McKinney. You have to do all of these things before you out here giving it to other people. You can't slip on that. That's something you can't slip on. You got to go to your healing part, because sometimes spirit, if you don't know the right spirits to call in, if you don't know the right energy to be in when you're reading somebody, it could be a negative spirit speaking to you. It could be your wounds speaking to you, your demons that you're fighting. And then you're reading somebody else and don't understand why they like, that's not me, that's not me, that's not me, I don't know what that's at. Now, granted, sometimes you read somebody and they might not know something that you say beforehand. You know, maybe you're giving them a premonition and they're not getting it. So in that situation, absolutely, it could very well be the person doesn't know what you're speaking about, and then they go find out later on that you was correct. Happens to me all the time. However, sometimes it is your wounds. It's the things that you try to skip over. You trying to place, skip the place in line and go straight to whatever it is that you feel like you're called to do, and it doesn't work that way. Stop letting where you see other people at make you think that that's where you're supposed to be because you got this gift. No, none of us woke up and was like, oh, okay, let's do this, that, and the third. It's levels. It's levels. Kachina says, so many people need to hear this. Be so fast to move to the look of it all. Exactly. Always so fast to go with how it looks. You feel, like certain people get jealous of, where they feel like you're at, and they don't know the cross you had to bear. They don't know the shit that you had to go through to get there. Even if they were sitting right next to you, they wouldn't know. I have family members that I would speak to on a regular, or that I'm usually in communication with on a regular, that don't know shit about what I went through during my awakening. Because I didn't have time to sit there and explain it. Jean McKinley said, that's why, especially when you're grieving or going through certain situations, it's best to shut yourself down for a while. Absolutely, Jean. Spirit tells me to shut it down, I shut it down. Y'all see me. It's been plenty of times, and it's always like around April 7th for some reason. But Spirit be like, nope, boop, nope, don't do no readings for the month. Nope, don't do no me. I just came back out of a break, but that's for me. A lot of people just feel like they need to hurry up. No, slow your fucking roll, sis. Do what you got to do. Exactly, Gene McKinney. Don't do the readings if you're going through something, if you're in a shadow period. Let me tell you, you're going to die 1,000 deaths in this life. Now, catch that. Don't let it go over your head. You're going to die 1,000 deaths in this life. I'm going to say it again. You're going to die 1,000 deaths in this life. So who you were a week ago ain't going to be who you are this week. Who you were a year ago, and I'm damn sure not who I was 4 or 5 years ago when I started this journey. I am not where I was 4 or 5 years ago when I started this journey. I've only been reading for others maybe about, I think, 3 years now. Maybe 3 years. So that's 2 years of shadow work, dark night of the soul, crying my eyeballs out, praying, doing cleansing work on myself, doing root work on myself, doing healing work on myself. You understand? Doing my money oils and making them be for me. Doing all of my oils and holding them for myself before I even let anybody else know that it was there, because I use it for me. It's things that I need at this point. I have to be in a position to be able to be of assistance. Okay? What are some of the types of shadow work that helped you heal? Let me tell you, whose question was that? Let me see. Some of the types of shadow work that helped me heal was like really like legit being honest with myself. And that's the number one thing. Being honest with myself. Because a lot of times people sit there and you got a whole bunch of yes mans in your group. You got a whole bunch of, negative fucking Nancy's, people that as soon as you tell them things, they speak negativity over your life, and things like that. So the number one thing, hold on, what's going on? I'm trying to see you guys' comments. Hold on. Facebook is raggedy. I just sent you someone because I'm in shadow period doing root work and can't assist no one but myself. Sitting in my own bullshit, cleaning it up. Ashe. The first number one thing, like I said, for my shadow work was like owning my own shit. Owning that I have a side where, like, if somebody do me some kind of way, I'm not one of them people where I'm going to be like, oh, you get all these chances. Like, I don't know if it's my Leo moon or my Scorpio rising, sis, but I don't fucking do that. Because I'm with you the whole time. When I'm with you, I'm with you. But when I'm done, right? So one of my things that I had to learn in shadow work is that I had to be okay with my own shit. I know I was being unforgiving as fuck. I was like, no, fuck you, peace out, because I already know what I bring to the table. So I wasn't even sitting there like, okay, this person could have just made an honest mistake. I wasn't trying to be honest with myself because I just was like angry, and I was like, I done been through enough shit. I don't got time for this. But a lot of times we don't even understand that we're not compassionate, we're not forgiving, we're not doing these things, we're not loving in the way that we deal with people all the time. You understand? So that, my anger level, my depression, I wasn't even paying attention to my depression. You know what I'm saying? Tiffany Thomas said that Leo moon, that's me. So I wasn't even dealing with my depression. I was drinking. I would have one of them freaking strawberry Ritas or the watermelon Rita or whatever every night. I get off of work, I'm drinking my little thing and chain smoking like a mug. I do what I had to do as a mother, check my kids' homework, make sure their homework was done, make sure they ate dinner, make sure they got into bed and all that good shit. But I still would have my little drink. And sometimes I wasn't eating. Sometimes I was not eating and the food would be there, or I wasn't doing certain things to take care of myself, and I felt like, oh, I'm a numb myself. Making the number one thing is owning your own shit. The next thing is shadow work, looking at your shadow side, the dark sides of you that people might be too afraid to tell you, because I ain't no fucking joke. So some people might be scared to tell me certain, like back in the day, like I know they probably was scared because they like, this bitch is crazy. And I ain't even saying nothing to her, because I'll tell you, like in a minute, I always knew me and knew who I was and knew every fucking thing about me, good, bad, ugly, and indifferent. And you couldn't tell Toya from young nothing about herself, sis. Y'all seen all the shit that I've been through. By the time I was 9, I was fucking grown. You know what I'm saying? Like no. Yeah, I know that. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it was that type of energy. So sometimes people wouldn't even tell me that. So I had to like really pay attention to all of the facets of myself. Toya, you've been through this, that, and the third, and you didn't get no healing. And then I had to be like, no, you're taking your ass back to therapy. You're going to take your ass back to therapy. You're going to go and you're going to sit with somebody. You're going to talk to them. Now, Nobody said go to therapy and be like, I hear voices and I see spirits. They putting your ass in the lock. They clank. Okay? They're going to put you in a nice straight jacket. You might as well get a bedazzler and get yourself ready. So don't tell it. Certain shit you can't tell them. You know what I'm saying? However, you can go and speak about things that are going on in your life because it will help to hear somebody else say the shit back to you. Because some of the shit that I was dealing with, I didn't even know I was dealing with like that. When they said it back to me, I was like, oh no, bitch. Like, you would fucking try to kill your friend's boo if this happened. Or you would try to knock the block off your kids. If, you know, so it's like certain things I had to be cognizant of. And then it's like I tell people all the time when I'm telling them and you know, I have mentees and things like that, right? So when I'm telling them, you got to tackle this shit from all angles. If you are really about that being in your calling and walking in your light type of thing, that type of time, it needs to be from all angles, because you cannot be effective in what it is that you're doing if you're in this one space and you just jumped over there like, yeah, you know, because, you know, my spirit team. Bitch, everybody got a spirit team. And everybody don't listen to them either. Because I read some people right now that don't listen to shit I'm saying. And they know for a fact that I am spirit led. They don't want to hear it. So they're going to ignore me. And every time you turn around, they're going to come back and tell me the same situation. And then I was enabling that shit. Oh, let me pull some cards. Bitch, I ain't pulling nothing. Now, I said what I said the last time, and you didn't want to listen to it. So, knock yourself out. Because I'm only here to give the message. I'm not here to pacify you through your shit. Like, and that's just on that's on purge. You know? And it's just, you know, it's one thing to come to somebody for advice. Like, I'm the older cousin in some situations. Not very old. But I guess in spirit or whatever it is that they see in me, they come to me for things. They come to me to speak about things, that they need something. And I'm just so blessed to be able to do that, because it's my request and my prayer that my pockets end up blessing somebody else's pockets. I'm trying to be that kind of wealthy so that I can help somebody else when they're going down and all of that good stuff. And spiritually speaking and wisdom wise and all of that, right? But I'm not one of them people that's going to keep on telling you the same shit and you not listening to me, and then you think you're going to keep coming over here. Because I don't know everything, but I know what Spirit told me. And, you know, for whatever that's worth to you, you listen or you don't. But after that, I don't want to hear it. Girl, you know he cheated on... Well, I told you that the last time. Girl, you know that you want somebody to vent to, then don't call me. I got enough energy that I deal with every day. Got my own shit, and then I gotta cleanse off my conversation with you. No, we're not doing that. Again, if this is your walk and this is really your calling, you need to be able to make the sacrifices and the healing and the changes necessary in order for you to be in that space, and be in that space in a good, protected, loving way. Because sometimes you don't even understand that you know, people don't even understand you can do dark magic very easily. If you're reading somebody and you're being charged to be a messenger, this is a great responsibility. So if you are now taking your traumas and reading that person, you're doing that person a disservice, and it's turning into dark ass energy, sis. You're no longer a light worker. Because you're not careful. You're not taking the time to be as meticulous in what it is that you're called to do. If it's a great responsibility, you should responsibly practice it, correct? You have to responsibly practice what it is that you're called to do. That means we're not going out here all willy-nilly, guns a-blazing, throwing cards at motherfuckers, reading pictures and all of that, and reading tarot and using pendulums, and stay the fuck away from them Ouija boards. That's for somebody. But I'm just saying, like, you know, like, come on. You gonna let some shit in your house that you can't get the fuck out. And that's on period. Trying to be what somebody else is at this moment. What would be the point? If you be you, you ain't gotta worry about none of that. Like, I'm me all day, every day. Don't give a fuck. Don't care who don't like it. I'm one of them cousins that be at the house. I don't really never come to shit unless it's specific family members. You understand? I know that a lot of them are judging the fuck out of me all day long, talk shit about me, and then turn right around and come to me for a reading. Or I know all of that, and I don't care. I don't care. But what you gonna do is you gonna get this truth, you gonna get this work, you gonna get this love, and I'm gonna just go on about my business after that. Chaz, for real, sometimes you gotta be like that, baby. Like, it's not, I don't got time. I had an auntie come to me and she watched one of my videos by happenstance. She said she stumbled upon it, which I don't understand how you stumble upon Toya Tarot. Like, that's, but I guess maybe I was in her people you may know, whatever. She watches the video and then she has a revelation about, you know, leaving the church and all of that good stuff, which was such a blessing to hear. But that was one of them aunties. Okay? That was talking shit. Oh, I don't know where she thinks she got this gift from, and she da 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 da. And I just be like, okay, I don't even care. Like, my cousins will come to me like, girl, she was just talking about you. Good. My mama talk about me. Next caller. My sister was talking about me. She get readings now. You know, so it's not about that. Like, I can't let my ego and how my feelings are towards the people that don't believe in what it is that I'm gifted with, or they don't believe in what it is that I'm called to do. It's not my job. And I was told that very early in my journey, that you don't need to explain anything to anybody. We got that. You make sure you stay on target and in alignment. Hi, Brittany. So that's what I want to say to my nieces and my nephews at this moment. Like, I don't care where nobody else is. And if you know them, and if you don't know them, like, I don't care. All I care about is that you remember that you do not have to work on anybody else's clock, and you cannot rush spirit. You can't rush God. You cannot. So if you think that you're going to be like, okay, well, now I know this is my calling. I got a vision that this is my calling. Now I'm going to do that. And you think that they're going to go ahead and let you be in that calling, and you didn't do the work. You didn't do the work to get there. You didn't do the work to get there. So now you think you're going to be able to step in your calling without trying to do what you got to do to heal that stuff that you got going on. We got enough pastors doing that. We got enough pastors doing that. I know y'all heard me on this Sunday morning, this blessed Sunday morning. We got enough pastors preaching from their wombs. Running churches from their wombs. Marrying people from their wombs. Nobody decided to go and get counsel and seek counsel. Nobody sat with God and spoke about preparing them for it before they decided to be a pastor. They just pray and ask God to give them a word to give to the people. But what happens to the man that is giving the word if it's spewing hatred and hurt? Chaz says they love to spiritual bypass, no shade work, shadow work whatsoever, but not now you a spiritual leader. Exactly. You don't get to do that part. And you know what? I'm not even going to say that spirit won't allow you to. What will happen is spirit will sit there, let you go on and bite your nose off to spite your face. They'll sit there. But I bet you that ass whooping that you get after that going to keep you checked for a very long time. Because I didn't want to do it. I ignored my calling, ignored my calling. Then spirit started activating my clear audience so I could hear that I was ignoring my calling. And hear that I was about to get fired. And hear that my kids is going to go with their daddy. And hear that my grandmother is going to die. And now I can hear the shit. Okay? So it was levels to it. I ignored. Then I had gone through therapy in and out of my life, my whole life, and, made sure I did that. So therapy was not nothing that was abnormal to me. But at that time, I was like, no, I just wanted to be fucking mad, okay? My abuser, now my kids want to go live with my abuser, and like, what the fuck is that about? And, I felt betrayed, and, all of this other stuff, when really they just wanted to go experience life with dad sometimes, because I'm gay as hell. I mean, I cannot give you the white picket fence with the dog and this big ashy ass nigga over here. I can't do that. You understand? pardon my words for anybody that might be offended by that NIGGA word. I'm hood, and I wish a nigga would. But anyway, you know, I was in a space where I could not wrap my head around all of it, and I just had, like, Spirit knocked me on my knees. God knocked me on my knees. You understand? It was like, no, this, you're gonna have to look at all of this and everything now, 5 years later, 4 years later, had to happen the way that it happened, or I would not be walking in my calling. Hold on, this shade is driving me crazy, y'all. Hold on. Cause I know this glare is ridiculous. This is better. Might be a little dark, but it's better than what we've been going through. So, thank you, Adisia. I love you too, niece. So, it all had to happen. If it did not happen, I would not be a reader. I would not, because listen, let me tell you something. I gave birth to 4 mediums, 4 root workers, 4 healers. You understand? 4. All 4 of them are very sensitive to spirit and energy. Okay? So, I was not going to do that and then possibly bring a negative energy in while I was trying to learn my gifts and how to activate them. So at that point, I was not going to be, if my kids had decided to stay in the home with me, I would not do that. And then also my healing, I would not have done that. You know, when you're a mom, the first thing you think about is your kids and what your kids need and what your kids want and what your kids, and whether or not they need to be healing. Are they okay? And I got to be strong for my kids, and I got to do this for my kids. I got to do that for my kids. And Spirit and God was like, nope, they're going to have to go stay with their daddy then. Because you're going to pay attention to this. Because we can't put you where you need to be put. We can't elevate you the way we need to elevate you in this condition. So you had to go, and they had to move out. And I had to be heartbroken for a little while. And then I went to therapy, and then I started, you know, reading for myself because I didn't want to do that. But I damn sure didn't feel like going all the way to Harlem to the same reader that I've been going to, because I'm not with all that hopping around, getting readings from different people shit. So then I was like, you know what? Okay, Spirit, you know, had told me, listen, it's going to help you to understand things. So I started pulling cards for myself. I started doing a daily, 1 card a day, and getting into the space of understanding what it is Spirit is saying to me. Okay? So then, you know, after that, I continued to do the work. I went to therapy every day. I made sure I went to all of my doctor's appointments, because at the time I felt like I was out of here. Like I felt like my days were really numbered. So I was at the hospital every week getting blood drawn and all kinds of unhealthy shit. Like, why do I need to get all these x-rays? And then after a while, it was so bad that the people at the hospital was like, girl, ain't nothing wrong with you. We're sending you home. So when I came in, they was like, and I'm like, well, shit, I don't want to be here either. But why do I feel like this? But I was getting sent to the hospital because I had to get messages to nurses. And I was getting sent to the doctor's office because I had to go and find out that I'm not crazy. And, you know, this, that, and the third. Then I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia during that time. So then I was like, okay, that explains all the pain that I'm in. But it didn't explain all the pain I'm in. You know why? Because then I became a Reiki master, and then I learned how to clear my energy. And now I don't hurt as much as I did before. Yeah, I have fibromyalgia, but guess what? It's not bothering me as much as it. So it's not just physicality. It's not just your health. It's spiritual things that go on as well. I'm holding energy of other people. I'm holding energy of my traumas. I'm holding these things in my chakras, and it causes it to create a pain in my body. But again, I would not know none of this if I was not put in the position to sit my ass down. Stop feeling like you got to be where somebody else is at. Stop feeling like, oh, they do it, I could do it too. Yeah, you could do it too, but you can't do it like they could do it, and they can't do it like you. However, you got to get there to be there. You can't just be like, oh, I'm over here. It's just not a thing. It's not necessary. It's unnecessary. Learn yourself. Heal. Relearn yourself and learn yourself again. I went into a break where I wasn't on Facebook. Spirit threw me into another awakening, but now I knew what it was. It still was scary as fuck, but I knew what it was. And I knew that it was time for Spirit to speak to me and realign me, because I had gotten off track a little bit. So Spirit was like, no. We need you to stay transparent. I don't care how much and how many people get to know you. We need you to continue to be the messenger. We need you to stay transparent. So all of that, oh, I got to do this a certain way, prim and proper, and all of that other stuff, you're not going to reach the people we assigned you to that way. I love you too, Jean. You're not going to reach them that way. So guess what? Y'all getting Auntie. Y'all getting Toya. Y'all getting the people that my family get. You're the person that my family gets. All of that. I was rerouted. Like I said, I did a live about it. Like, be thankful for the rerouting. You know, when you on your GPS and you driving and you miss your stop, it's going to reroute you. It's going to be like, boop, boop, rerouting. It's going to put you back. I love you too, Brittany. It's going to put you back on your direction so you can get to your destination. There's going to be a few reroutings that has to happen. Be thankful for every time that it happens. But do not feel that you got to get to the same destination the same way someone else did. Like I said on that live, we're going back to that. Spirit is taking me back to that. When you put in GPS on the same address, different phones or different GPS systems are going to give you different routes to get there. They're going to give you different routes to get there. So how somebody else got to 82 Sycamore Lane is not going to be how somebody else got to 82. They took the back streets to get to 82 Sycamore Lane, and you had to take the highway. But because you felt like, oh, well, I should have been able to go that way, you didn't have to follow the other person that came to 82 Sycamore Lane. How you got there is your business. So if you got to get rerouted and not be on the same path as somebody else, that's your business. Stop feeling like you have to be and do what other people do. People that you may admire for what it is that they do. If that's the case, then you need to pick their brain. You need to take some classes or something. If you feel like you want to do it, you need to go and you need to get some books. You need to show yourself approved. If I show y'all my bookcase, y'all be like, sis, I need a whole office. And I'm manifesting that now. But I got books upon books upon books. Before I even started taking classes, I sat with Spirit and I heard what Spirit said. And Spirit told me which crystals to get, what herbs to put in this, what herbs to put in my money oil, what herbs to put in my protection oil, what to speak over it. I even have you got to have a prayer before you even do your reading that you set up for you and your people. You need to have some kind of activation before you start doing that. You can't just be like, okay, Spirit, tell me something good. Then I'm like, bitch, knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone. The dog that jumps in the water misses the bone. You're like, what the fuck is this? Because you're not ready. Go take your time and sit down so you can hear with clarity. Go take your time and heal. Go to therapy. Take care of yourself. Go to your doctor's appointments. If the vessel is not healthy, how the fuck is the message going to be healthy? You can't give a healthy message if you belching or farting. I mean, you can, but ew. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's these type of things that y'all need to make sure that you're in the space to give the message. I remember I got a reading from my favorite astrologers, the GOATs, Rhonda and Tanya. Shout out to them, it's their birthday today too. So happy birthday to Rhonda and Tanya. So I get this business reading, right? And during the business reading, it's a business natal chart reading. They're telling me all of the stuff about my business and, and everything, and telling me the planetary shifts and how things are playing out. But then they also get on me about the food I'm eating. And I'm like, what that got to do with my business? But it really does. Because if I got diabetes, God forbid, or I have high blood pressure, God forbid, how the hell I'm going to be out here traveling and motivationally speaking to people? How? Nobody's saying you got to be a vegan, because they also let it be known that I'm not meant to be one. I like me some steak, sis. And if you and I'm with somebody that's a vegetarian. So go figure. She don't eat no meat, and I'm out here. We out here. I like the gravy and all of that, which I got to chill on. But like I'm saying, like, you got to go through that whole process. It needs to be a a complete glow up goddess moment. That's my oil. My oil is called glow up goddess, right? So it's self-love and healing oil. So you need to be healing. You need to be loving on yourself. You need to be spiritually aligning yourself. You need to be mentally and emotionally aligning yourself. You need to be honest with yourself. You need to give it all you got in order to get yourself in position for what it is that Spirit has called you to do. Hi, Tasha, beautiful. So you need to get yourself in position. Don't think that you need to hop on the next bandwagon just because somebody is where you are. And even if they've been that way just as long as you've been that way, your journey is your journey. Your GPS is your GPS. However you get to your destination is going to be how you get there. And the other person probably had to take the back roads. I have a bug on me. Where, cousin? No, that's thread. This is my house dress. You know, that's how Auntie coming. You know, I came with my little teacup. Wait, let's see if y'all can see it. It says, with God, all things are possible. Period. So, that's just all that Spirit was telling me on this Sunday at Aunties. That's all. Like, don't feel like you need to do something just because you see somebody else do it. And you feel like you should be able to do it because they do it. Don't feel like you need to go and be playing catch up because now you realize what your calling is and you're like, oh, I gotta hurry up because that's my calling and the time is now. No, sis, the time is now. Whenever Spirit says that it's time for you to walk into your calling and step into your calling, but you ain't got to do it that way. You can go take your GPS. You got to take the back roads right now. Go to therapy. Go to therapy. Go to that doctor's appointment that you've been avoiding doing. Talk to your children. Put your kids in therapy. Go get therapy for your marriage or your relationship if that's, you know, because 9 times out of 10 you're going through an awakening. Everything is in the shithole. I promise you. So, whatever it is you need to fix, do that, right? Then fix how you're eating if you need to. Fix how you're looking at yourself. Get the fuck up and do your hair. Y'all don't even understand how important it is just to make sure you look good sometimes. And yes, it's superficial, but while you're working on the inside, make sure the outside look good. I remember my grandmother telling me, you ain't got to look how you feel. You're welcome, Jean. My grandmother used to be like, girl, you ain't got to look how you feel. And I'm like, well, what you mean? I go try to go outside with a scarf on my head or a bonnet. And she was like, I'll slap fire out of you. And I'm like, what? She's like, I said, well, Grandma, I just did my hair. She said, okay, but you don't know who you're going to see outside. I'm like, well, I'm not looking for nobody. She was like, I said you don't know who you're going to see outside. That's not to say that is somebody that you romantically are looking for, but you don't know who you're going to see outside. So why are you looking like that? Get yourself together. I remember one time I was really depressed. I had an ectopic pregnancy. Okay, so boom. We're going to take it here too. Yes, Diamond. You might feel better. So at some point, some years ago, about 10 years ago, I had an ectopic pregnancy, right? Well, probably longer than 10 years now. It's like 2009. Hey, Rika. So I had an ectopic pregnancy. I was, right before I was coming out. And it got, ectopic pregnancy is when the baby's in your tubes, right? So I almost died. It exploded in my tubes and I had to have emergency surgery, blood transfusions, all that good stuff. And I was very depressed because of the people that I thought were going to be in my life. Well, shit, I probably started my awakening even more than 5 years ago then. It's 2009. Oof. Anyways, so I thought that I had nobody there. My mom didn't come to the hospital. My sister didn't come to the hospital to see me. They knew I had surgery. They knew I almost died. The person that I was attempting to have the child with got angry because they didn't have any children at the time, and they trying to figure out why their baby died. And never mind the fact that I was almost checked the fuck out of here with 4 kids that I would have left behind. But they turned their back on me, and I didn't have nobody. And when I tell you, I was so depressed that I was like, because I couldn't walk for some time after the surgery because they had to cut muscles and things. So I was like crawling to the bathroom, like trying to take care of myself. Like my daughter was a little older at the time. My oldest daughter was a little bit older. probably like 10 or 11. She's holding me up in the shower so I can wash myself, helping hold me up. It was really bad, right? So I was so depressed though. I was just drinking and crying, eating and crying, leaving the plate in the room. Fucking room is crazy. I got so much shit on the floor that I can't even see. When I get up, I gotta move stuff out the way on my foot to open my door. It was that bad. Like, I was really, really bad off. And I remember my grandmother didn't know that I had the surgery. Nobody told her. And so I went to sleep watching BET Uncut. I was watching BET Uncut and I had my little drink and I was in the bed just doing one of these because I felt like I couldn't get up or whatever. And, you know, because it hurt a lot. Because my muscles were trying to reconnect and everything. So I'm dancing or whatever. And I go to sleep. I wake up. I think it was about 5 or 6 in the morning. And I wake up from BET Uncut and TD Jakes is yelling, "Get up! Get up!" You know how the preachers be doing. Right? So I'm like, you know, I'm like getting up. Thank you, Tamara. So I'm getting up and I'm like, oh my God, like I can't for the life of me remember the word that he preached on this particular day. But Jazz Diamond, BT Uncut, and Comic View Girl, like I was having a little party. I had changed my number by this time because I also spoke with God and was like, if I'm wrong for being gay, just take me now. Like I asked to be taken, and I said, if you wake me up, I'm gonna come out the closet, and that's it. So I woke up, but I was just really depressed. I changed my phone number. Like my mama didn't have my phone. Nobody had my phone number. Like I was in the hospital a whole week and a half, and y'all motherfuckers didn't even call me. So that's the way I was feeling at the time. Like, you know. So I'm up and I'm just like, you know, I'm TD Jakes is speaking, and it was something about pull yourself up. You know, God didn't bring you this far. Like you're here, you're alive. Like it was something that was just like really on my spirit. And I mean, when I tell you I had me a little praise moment in there, praise and worship in that bed, right where I was at, and I got up in my pain. I put an ace bandage around my stomach, like to hold it, because you know, like if anybody's had like a C-section or something like that, you know, like it hurts, like if it's jiggling or something like that and you're still healing. So what I did was I just wrapped the ace bandage around my stomach to like give me some support, and I just started cleaning my room. I got up, I went in the bathroom, I cut my hair, I got dressed, and I got up and I pulled myself up by my bootstraps. So then my grandmother finally I called my grandmother because I knew she didn't have the number, and I just called her on a block number because it was private. She said, "Who this?" And I told her. So she was like, I didn't know you wasn't in no hospital, baby. I said, "Yes, ma'am, I was," and you know, this and that and the third happened. She said, "Well, you know, if I'd have known that, I'd have been up there praying over you and stuff like that. How you feeling?" And she's speaking to me, and then, well, you know, she was very intuitive, very tapped in. So, you know, she was like, "I was praying about you the other day, and God was telling me you were just going through a rough time, and just give you time, that you're gonna be all right, and you know, just praying for you." She was like, "I prayed a good 30 minutes for you the other day." I said, "Well, what day was that?" Because, you know, she said it was Sunday, and it happened on Sunday. So I was like, wow. So I was like, okay, well, you know, I got up, and everything was fine, and she just was reminding me, like, you know, don't be mad at nobody. It's okay. Sometimes you got to go through what you got to go through to get to where you're going. And she always makes sure, she told me, you got a calling on your life. There's some help that you need to give people by just being who you are and giving your testimony. So at the time, it helped me a lot. But if I had been, it's just hard to go through it. So sometimes you got to like tackle it from every angle. When you're going through your awakenings, when you're going through your depressive states and you're sad and whatever, you know, just remember why you're doing it, why you're pulling yourself up. And don't let it just be because of your kids. Don't let it just be like, sometimes you got to heal you for you. Sometimes you got to heal you for you. You know, don't let it just, oh, it's for my kids. If it wasn't for my kids. But when your kids get grown and leave your ass, they're not going to be thinking about you. So while it's great and admirable to be the type of selfless mother that would just take care of your kids and do things strictly for your kids, you have to have a reason to do it for yourself. And at the time when my awakening started, or when I had my awakening, that I could notably see that that's what it was, my kids was not there. And I didn't even know how to pick myself up if it wasn't for my kids. You understand? So I was like, well, what do I do? You know, how do I, like, I didn't feel like I had that. But Spirit made sure, God made sure that I was able to continue to pull myself up. And, you know, even if, whether it was my grandmother calling me, my grandmother passed, my mama called me and was like, girl, you better remember who you are. Like, get your butt up and, you know, like, on me. And so I'm just grateful for that. And I just want everybody to know that you do not have to be where somebody else is. You do not have to read cards if you don't want to read cards. You ain't got to, you know, not even that you don't want to. Even if you want to, you still got to go and do the work. You still got to go and do the work. You do. It's no way to hop past that. You can't cut people in the line. You have to go and you got to do the work just like everybody else that is there. I'm so grateful for my mentees, the people that I mentor every 2 weeks. You know, I'm grateful for the people that I teach with tarot and things like that. And I let it be known because you don't have to do it for others. You understand? You don't have to do it for others. You can just do it for yourself. But let it be that you are a testimony and you are a example of what taking your power back looks like. Because it's no other way you will be effective. You just telling somebody because you're like, yeah, I'm spiritual and I know, I'm psychic and I know. And this is why you need to do it because I know. I know me. I'm a Gemini sun and a Leo moon. I don't give a fuck what you know just because you know somebody told you. What have you done? Have you been there? Because I don't want to hear it if you haven't been there. Have you done that? What was your process? Because I don't want to do it if you haven't helped me. If you haven't helped yourself, how you going to help me? If you haven't healed yourself, how you going to heal me? If you don't root yourself in your life, how the fuck you going to root me? This is what I'm saying. It's just like, yo, your GPS is not broken. It's just on the back streets. It's not broken. There's nothing wrong with how you're getting there. It's just on the back streets. Don't rush it because you can't rush God. You can't rush Spirit ever because it just is pointless. Because all you're doing is rushing them and it's probably going to prolong your process even more. Honestly, it's going to prolong it even more because you have the audacity to tell Spirit when you want to do something when they've been waiting on your ass your whole life. Child, please. But that's the message that I got. I love you guys. I hope y'all have an amazing Sunday. I'm about to go get started on this Sunday dinner. And just enjoying the rest of my evening. Again, if you want a personal reading, go to IamToyaTarot.com to book. If you want conjure oils, if you want candles, if you want to stay up on classes and things that I will be doing. You said, what am I cooking, Candace? I'm thinking about some steak, some gravy, some rice, and I want some collards. That's probably all my ancestors right there. I want me some collard greens. I love you too, Diamond. But, you know, my nieces and nephews, I hope y'all have an amazing day. But just remember, like, your GPS is your GPS. And you could do it on your own pace. But basically, remember to heal and remember to do anything that you're going to be doing for you first. Even though it's your calling, it needs to be something that you are able to do effectively for yourself. You need to know yourself in order to be able to effectively listen to Spirit as well. So it's important to do what you have to do. Okay?